Today we're going over paper number 1 and introducing what you'll be doing for this paper. This is going to be a brief introduction and then talk you through the assignment for this week because there is a lot more detailed paper number 1 information available to you on Classroom on the paper number 1 information sheet. So this paper is going to be an iSearch paper, which is an interesting type of paper that's written in first person, and it's a personal research paper. So this paper tells the story of a writer's personal search for information. So you write it in first person, and it includes information like why this topic was interesting to you, any background you have on the topic, as well as taking your readers through the steps in your research process, and then talking them through what you learned as you went through that process and how that new knowledge impacts you. So it's very important for a personal research paper like this that you choose a topic that you're curious about and invested in, but can also keep an open mind about so that you are researching all sides, all perspectives, all available information. And it's really important that you choose a topic that you don't already know a lot of things about because you want to choose something that you want to find out more about. So nothing that you've already written about before in detail. But it could be something you've heard about lately, something you've been wondering about, something people have been talking about that you're curious about. It can be important to you for any of those types of reasons. For this particular paper, we are specifically writing an effects-based research paper, so it's going to be sort of a cause and effect type of paper. You're going to be researching into the effects of something specific on someone or something specific. Okay, so there are 3 potential prompts for you, and you can learn more about these on the assignment sheet for paper number 1. Prompt A is the impact of a particular type of technology on a particular subject. So, is Google making us stupid is an example of this, the essay that's assigned for this week. Prompt B, a particular type of pop culture on a particular subject. There's a sample essay for this unit called The Healing Power of Hip Hop, I believe, but it's based on the idea that hip hop has positive influences on society. So that could be a potential, example. And C gets a little political, so a specific local, state, or national policy's impact or potential impact on, a particular group of people or on the economy or something like that. C is going to be tricky. You do have to be quite specific, and you also have to choose something that you are curious about, not something that you're totally set in your ways about and will have difficulty checking your own bias on as you explore and as you look for sources on both sides. D, the final option, is that you can choose your own effect-based topic on something that doesn't fall into one of these categories, but you do want to make sure to approve it with me first, just because I want to make sure that you're choosing something that will work for this particular paper prompt and every assignment that leads up to it and has to do with it. So now that you have a little bit of information on what this paper contains, you're going to want to make sure that you've read the textbook reading. So it begins with the idea of choosing a topic and goes on for just a few pages. It's a pretty short reading, but it has some information about how to choose a good topic. Make sure it's narrow enough. Make sure you have an open mind about it. So the textbook reading is actually very helpful as you begin to choose a topic. And then you also want to make sure that you have read the paper number 1 information sheet. So you can find that on Classroom. And the first page here gives some basic information about the paper, including a basic intro to its 4 sections, how many points it's worth, the requirements, and the due dates. Page 2 has more detailed information about each section so that you have an overall glimpse even before we begin as to how it's going to be laid out. It will include an MLA Works Cited page, so you will still be citing sources as you go through. Page number 3 has the 3 different potential prompts, and then, of course, the 4th open option prompt, so detailed information about each of the prompts. And then the final paper has some important guidelines for choosing a topic, and these relate a lot to what you'll read in the textbook about how to choose a good topic for a research paper. Also on Classroom, you will want to open up assignment, the brainstorming assignment for this one. And when you click it open, you will see some blank boxes that you will do your brainstorming and topic invention in. And so the rest of this video includes instructions for how to fill out this assignment correctly. So first of all, exercise 7.1 here in the textbook, in this choosing a topic section, includes some instructions for you. In response to the first 3 prompts, this should say prompt 1 and prompt 2 and 3. So in response to the first 3 prompts, the ones that are chosen for you, I want you to list 10 potential topics total. So not 10 for 1 and 10 for 2 and 10 for 3, just 10 total of whatever stands out to you, whatever comes to mind that you could potentially write about. So just any 10 total, okay? So when you get your brainstorming sheet open here, you're just gonna type 10 potential topics. So types of technology, I could put social media, I could put, pop culture phenomenons, I could put reality TV, I could put Instagram, I could get a little more specific and say fitness Instagram accounts, I could say like makeup YouTube, and I want to think about policies as well. So there's been a couple policies come out lately in the news, laws that are coming into effect or things like that. So maybe I could say, maybe there's a new environmental act and I'm curious about that. Maybe there's a new speed regulation thingy in our town, right? So anything that comes to mind, to at least 10 total. You should be able to get even more than 10 though. Then over here, what I want you to do is think about, okay, now who might these affect? And so just any potential people or demographics. So I'm going to put, I'm going to put seniors. Meaning like older people. I'm going to put teenagers. I can get specific as well. I'm going to put teen girls. I'm going to put parents. These do not necessarily have to match. I just want you to come up with potential subjects or people impacted. I could put the local economy. So that's another potential subject, right? Then I want you in this box down here to think of types of effects. So in this box, maybe I want to think about mental health impacts. Maybe I want to think about physical health. Maybe I want to think about, sense of well-being. Maybe I want to think about happiness. Maybe I want to think about impact on eating habits. So again, just any type of impact that you can imagine. And then you're going to start to think, how can I combine these? So how could social media impact teen girls' physical health? And that could be an interesting concept. How could this environmental act impact the local economy, right? Do I have anything down here that can help me narrow that topic? So hopefully you can find some interesting concepts here, interesting combinations. One thing that the textbook asks us to do, though, is also to think of which of these meet the criteria of a good potential topic. So you can cross out using the strike through thing, or you can highlight some that do fit these. So do they interest you? Do you know something about them? Do you want to find out more about them? Do you care about this? Can you keep an open mind about this? And does it fit one of the prompts? So if you're looking at your document here, social media, that sounds really interesting to me. Reality TV, I don't really care about that. So maybe I want to use the strike through. Here we go. Maybe I want to do strike through if it doesn't work for me. Instagram, not really feeling it. I'm going to go to text and do strike through on that one. So, teenagers, teen girls, that sounds interesting to me. Maybe I'll highlight it to start to narrow down to some subjects that fit the criteria that we have for a good potential research topic. If you scroll down here then, it's asking you to do some invention strategy. So invention strategy number 1 and number 2. So I'm going to choose something that came up here that I think I want to explore further. And the textbook has some invention strategies listed. There are 3 listed in the thinking about your topic section that's assigned. So you're going to choose 2 of those and do them on your brainstorming sheet. So you could do, one thing that you can do that's really cool on Google Docs is you can do insert a drawing and do a new drawing. And on this you can draw, like you can do shapes and then like write in them. So maybe you want to do sort of like a web type of thing. You can do shapes and lines to make that. Another thing that you can do is you can sketch on a piece of paper and then take a picture of it and just upload the picture here so that I can see. Sometimes drawing a web or something like that is a little bit easier to do on scratch paper. So as long as you have 2 invention strategies, you can explore the same topic in 2 different ways and going further, or you could choose a potential topic for one and then switch and explore something else further. Then finally here on the bottom, I just want you to try to work on narrowing. So a potential broad topic for one of the prompts. This can be from 1, 2, or 3. And then in this one from a different one of the prompts. So maybe something from prompt 1 here, maybe something from prompt 3 here, and then just start to narrow them. And notice here there are some examples of how you might narrow and narrow and narrow as you go through this. So here we go, inventing potential topics and then brainstorming to continue to narrow and think of different ways that we can approach this. When you're finished with this assignment, you can click submit. Please note that when you click submit or turn in your assignment on Classroom, you won't be able to edit it anymore. So if you want to continue working on this after you've turned it in, make sure you make a copy of it. And you can do that by coming up here, File, Make a Copy, and then make yourself a copy that you can continue to edit if you want to. You can always view it, but once you turn it into me, you lose edit access. So make a copy if you want to continue working on this same document. All right, email me if you have any questions, and good luck beginning to think of topics. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye, writers.